Welcome to channel The Golden Goal. We will bring you the fastest, latest news about the day of the ball world. Take the subscribe and press the bell button to see the next videos.
Manchester City won the Carabao Cup in a penalty shootout at Wembley after Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa and Sarri defied manager Maurizio Sarri's attempt to substitute him. City claimed the first major trophy in their four-pronged assault on silverware, but this stale final, which was goalless after extra time, will be remembered for an almost unprecedented challenge to Sarri's authority by Arrizabalaga. The £71 million Spanish keeper, Chelsea's club record signing, had been struggling with cramp in the closing stages of extra time, and Sarri decided to send on substitute Willy Caballero, who saved 3 penalties in a shootout to help Manchester City win this trophy against Liverpool in 2016. Arrizabalaga refused to come off and Sarri backed down in a rage. Before his misery was completed as City won the shootout, with Raheem Sterling scoring the winning penalty. Ilkay Gundogan, Sergio Aguero and Bernardo Silva scored from the spot for City, and even though Arrizabalaga saved from Leroy Sane, it was to no avail. Jorginho's spot kick was saved by Ederson and David Luiz hit the post as Chelsea were sunk, despite Cesar Azpilicueta, Emerson and Eden Hazard converting their kicks. How can Sarri survive? The scenes inside Chelsea's dressing room hardly bear thinking about after the chaos of those closing moments at Wembley. Arrizabalaga's point-blank refusal to be replaced by Caballero led to furious exchanges between Sarri and his technical staff, with the Italian looking at one stage as if he would storm away and leave his Chelsea players to it for the conclusion. Of course, the goalkeeper was seriously at fault, showing his manager a complete lack of respect and ignoring his demands. What, however, does this say about Sarri's authority and rule at Stamford Bridge that he backed down instead of demanding the goalkeeper obey his demands? The sad aspect was that this was a tactically sound and spirited Chelsea display, in sharp contrast to the 6-0 mauling at Manchester City on 10th of February. Chelsea grew into the game and consider themselves unfortunate to lose in this manner, but the ramifications of those closing moments will reverberate around Stamford Bridge and could have very serious consequences for both Sarri and his goalkeeper. Jürgen Klopp says Liverpool should have won at Manchester United. Jürgen Klopp said Liverpool must learn to adapt to positive pressure and defensive opposition after the manager was left bewildered by his team's performance against an injury-hit Manchester United. Klopp described the goalless draw at Old Trafford as a point gained and a missed opportunity as his Liverpool side returned to the top of the Premier League at the expense of Manchester City. United, however, lost Nemanja Matic to a muscle injury before kickoff, then Ander Herrera, Juan Mata and Mata's replacement, Jesse Lingard, to hamstring injuries before halftime. Marcus Rashford would have been substituted with an ankle injury had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had any options remaining, United's caretaker manager said. Klopp was at a loss to understand why the disruptions affected Liverpool more than the hosts. Mo Salah said this week, "Of course there is pressure, and from my point of view it is very positive pressure, but I don't have to play. I sit here and say dumb things and that is easy. For the boys, they all have to learn in these situations. The only way we can do it is with passion. The heart and soul of this club is passion, and on Wednesday night we have another chance, against Watford. Then there is a derby, which is a very emotional game. This game was a fight, but a different fight to what we expected, and we didn't adapt like we should have. But that is not class or whatever. We know where we are coming from and where we are. Today was not brilliant, but we lose here more often than we drew. It feels like we should have won, but it was the same against Bayern when they came and defended with all they have. Something changed in the world of football, everyone adapted to it, and we have to make sure we adapt." Liverpool endured their own injury problem when Roberto Firmino turned an ankle in the first half. The influential Brazil striker left the ground on crutches but with no diagnosis on the extent of the injury. Of more minor concern to Klopp was Jordan Henderson's annoyance when substituted, with captain appearing to need a reminder from the manager to shake hands. Klopp's overall feelings were captured on TV on the final whistle when he was less than complimentary about the game. Having kept a clean sheet despite losing 3 players to hamstring injuries inside 43 minutes, however, United's caretaker manager took an opposing view. "He can have his own opinion," Solskjaer said. "We had a good performance, defensively absolutely fantastic. He's not happy if they didn't have a shot on target, or one, and that was a long strike from Daniel Sturridge, but I was very pleased with the performance and the fans enjoyed it." Solskjaer said Rashford should have been withdrawn after his ankle blew up following an early foul by Jordan Henderson. The striker, who is expected to miss the visit to Crystal Palace on Wednesday, came in for rough treatment from Liverpool throughout. According to the Norwegian, Salah was comfortably subdued by the impressive Luke Shaw, and Klopp said, "Mo knows he can play better than he did in this game. We know it too." Maurizio Sarri, Kepa Arrizabalaga incident a misunderstanding, says Chelsea boss. Chelsea manager Maurizio Sarri says the incident involving goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga in the Carabao Cup final was a misunderstanding. The club record £71 million signing appeared to defy the Italians' attempt to substitute him in extra time before Manchester City won on penalties. Sarri appeared furious and walked down the tunnel before quickly returning. "I misunderstood that problem and only realized the situation when the doctor arrived at the bench," said Sarri. He understood I asked for a change for his physical problem. He said, "I haven't a physical problem," and he was right. The 24-year-old later echoed his manager's words and insisted the incident was caused by confusion. "It was misunderstood. In no moment was it my intention to disobey, or anything like that with the boss," said Arrizabalaga. "It was 2 or 3 minutes of confusion until the medics got to the bench and they explained everything well. He thought I couldn't continue, and, fundamentally, I was trying to say that physically I was fine." Spaniard Arrizabalaga initially went down with cramp, prompting the Chelsea bench to ready reserve goalkeeper Willy Caballero. Sarri was visibly angry as his goalkeeper refused to follow orders from the touchline but eventually conceded following a conversation with referee Jonathan Moss. "I realized after, when the doctor arrived. I have talked to him, Moss, but only to clarify because now I have understood the situation," Sarri said. "It was a big misunderstanding because I understood the keeper had cramp and was unable to go to penalties. But it was not cramp and he could go to the penalties. I needed to return, down the tunnel, to be quiet." Speaking to Sky Sports, former Chelsea captain John Terry said he believed Sarri's misunderstanding explanation was a decision taken to protect his goalkeeper. "Whether that has been dealt with inside the dressing room, I don't know," said Terry. "Publicly, that's his approach. He's protecting his player." Ex-Napoli manager Sarri has come under increasing pressure in recent weeks, following a 6-0 defeat to Manchester City in the Premier League and an FA Cup exit at the hands of Manchester United. Yet despite doubts over his future, the Blues produced a resolute performance in Sunday's final as Sarri demonstrated a backup plan to his Sarri ball philosophy. Gary Neville says there will be mutiny among Man United fan base if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't get job. Gary Neville believes there will be mutiny among the Manchester United fan base if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not get the full-time manager's role. Solskjaer oversaw a 0-0 draw with Liverpool at Old Trafford on Sunday despite having to make 3 substitutions before halftime due to injuries which disrupted his game plan. The Norwegian has seen United win 11 of his 14 games since taking over as caretaker manager, including victories over Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal, the only defeat coming against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. Old Trafford was in full voice during the 90 minutes against Liverpool with Solskjaer's name being sung almost throughout. Neville thinks there is only one man for the job now. Speaking on Sky Sports, he said, "I don't think you can give it to someone else, otherwise there would be mutiny. The fans were singing for him. I think it's very close now. I can't see the club going away from it. We learned a lot about the mood of the club in that second half. 3 months ago they were singing attack, 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 and today they were singing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's name for all of the second half. The mood has completely transformed. The atmosphere was one of the best I've seen at Old Trafford for years and it was 0-0. If Manchester United had scored it would have been incredible." Former United defender Nemanja Vidic, who was a guest in the Sky Sports studio, believes the hierarchy at United should make a decision on Solskjaer's future imminently. "I think they have to make a decision as soon as possible," he said.